Yes.
I always stuck out like a some Thor. I mean, no, sore thumb. Sorry. So you can get like ease into that one. Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. Sorry. I was like, That's what I do.
Thanks so much for...
See, I'm already like, okay, freeze. Okay, hi y'all. Hey y'all, I'm Dee TrannyBear, and this is my video out. Was that good? So I'm actually European, even though everybody always thinks I'm Dominican or Puerto Rican. So I was born in Italy. I grew up in Germany in like this small town. It's like a base camp of the lowest mountain in Bavaria. So it's like a really like snow resort kind of like town. I have a picture of me when I was 4.5 and I'm standing there like this. Like, I mean, perched, that young, you know what I mean? And I had like I had this really cool purple sweater on and like these green corduroy pants. I thought it was the hot shit. But I always picked up my own stuff because I like colorful things. And my mom, when I was young, didn't really think of that in that way, being that, you know, because she suppressed her knowing that I'm actually like queer. When I was little, I didn't know a lot of things about queer community. But as I got like literally 14, 15, and 16, that was like, my eyes were like, there's so much there for me. So I always kind of like stuck out and never really fit in. And that was always the thing because we were already like called the Italians anyway, like being in that, you know, since we grew up in Germany. And yeah, so it was really always like I was ostracized since I was little. So kind of like got used to it. I mean, it's not a good thing, but you know, you kind of like learn how to deal with it. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I had great friends and still have to this day. They're still there. My family still lives in the small town there, so I still go back and it's kind of like, oh my God, it's so funny. They haven't seen this yet there because, you know, I'm very like, when I go back home, I'm like, oh, I'll take carry-on, fuck it. I'm not bringing my whole self with me because I'm like, I'm just going to see my family. I'm like, there's no need for all that. It's funny because some of my friends are like, no, please come down up, like, so that those old folks get a heart attack and then they just move on. I'm like, oh God, y'all want me to kill people? I was like, this is terrible. Growing up was really interesting because I've always tried to be myself, but always was chastised for it because my parents are very like Southern Catholic Italian, like, you know, super strict and that. And so it took them a long time to really come around. Even with my dad, and he had passed away like 2 years ago now, we never really had a conversation about like, you know, oh, I accept who you are. But I mean, he was proud of the fact that I was in New York living my life, you know, that I came here and like did my things. So that was cool, but other than that, yeah, he wasn't really with it. Now my mom, on the other hand, she was really, she almost freaked out when she found out that I was gay, like before I really came out as non-binary. But then really now it's like when we like WhatsApp video messenger, she'd be like, why are you not putting some makeup on? You look so much prettier with it. I was like, who are you? Like, you know, so it takes time sometimes, like for parents to really come around. So don't lose faith, honey, on hope, because they'll come around. Just need a little longer. When I was 14, I got to see Honey, the movie Honey with Jessica Alba. And Harmonica Sunbeam is in that movie. And so that was my first drag queen that I saw. And that's so funny because when I first came here, I actually met Harmonica and I started crying in front of her. She must have thought like I was some sort of psycho because I was like, this is so intense. I'm like, I saw you. You were like the first person I saw that was different. And that inspired me to like even want to do more. Because I love Boy George and like George Michael and stuff. But like they weren't really like out like a drag queen like Harmonica, you know. So for me that was really eye-opening because I was like, that's an awfully interesting woman. I was like, oh, I'm so drawn to her. I was like, what's happening here? And then I actually like did research about it because that was a cool thing in IT class in school. We were able to go on Google, and like that's my thing. I've been Googling since I've been 14. Really like being like, what does that mean? What does that entail? And then I like learned about all these things, and I was like, I did not know shit. School life definitely had a lot of bullying, you know, within it. I mean, that's something that, especially as trans and non-binary folks, we get just like all the time, especially in school life. My best friend, she's like, you always so damn jumpy. And I'm like, I think that stuck with me because like when you get assaulted so many times, even if it's not like to like an intense, like you being in the hospital, but like being assaulted, even if you just get slapped over and over and over and over. Of course, if you see somebody like move to you, you get jumpy, you know what I mean? Like that sticks with you. I had boys try to beat me up all the time because I hung out with the like most gorgeous girls in the school. They were part of the cheerleader team. I did always the hair and makeup. Like I was always in hair and makeup. That was always something that like brought joy to me. So I was like, I always tried to like do it. And then two of the girls that used to go to school with me were like, oh my God, we just love you. You should just come and always be our like glam squad for when we have performances and stuff. And then those girls actually kind of like helped me because they would kind of like shelter me when people would really like try to bully me. So I always say this and like try to find your support system in school because it's living hell. Just saying. And never try to like let that defeat you when people want to be ignorant and are just scared of who you are because you are different. I'm a hairstylist. Let me make that clear real quick because people always like, oh my God, you're such a phenomenal makeup artist. I'm like, this is the only makeup that I do. Me. I don't paint nobody else, honey, okay? In like high school, yes, I've done those girls like blue eyeshadow until the brow and stuff, but that was like, you know, I just didn't know about makeup. But really hair is my passion in my life, and that's what I do. My mom just didn't see that as being a job for an Italian man. So when she found out that I was actually working in a hair salon, because I actually started working in a hair salon when I was 14 years old. Every day after school, I would just go to the salon because I didn't want to go home, because I always had to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. And in the salon, I didn't. But then when she found out that I was actually doing, she like flipped out and was like, that's not what an Italian man's supposed to do. Why are you doing that? And I was like, well, okay, lady, look, like that's what I love. Then that's when I told them, I was like, okay, I did school for y'all, but now I have to do what I gotta do. And so right before I turned 18, I moved to Berlin because I started my education as a hairstylist. Well, my closest friend that I was in junior high and high school with, Stephanie, she and I were kind of like inseparable, and like my mom thought that I was with her, which kind of like was a saving grace for me because I could spend nights at her house, and like her mom was super supportive. So with her, I shared the first time. I was like, well, because she had Stephanie had a boyfriend who was in the military. Like we grew up in Bavaria, which there's a couple of army bases still to this day now. Where they kind of like, you know, stay there and do their training and then they keep going. So she was dating the soldier and, geez, he was fine. Anyway, so, and I was really like, I'm like, I can't explain this to you, but I'm really attracted to him and I don't know what that means. And she was like, well, honey, it's okay. You gay. And so she the one that told me and I was like, oh, okay. So it kind of like, it didn't dawn on me, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to say it because I knew what it would mean when I go back home if I would identify as gay. So I didn't really put one and one together that if I'm looking at men and like it arouses me or like, you know, it's something moves inside of my body and I'm like, oh, I'm attracted to the folks. So it's like, that's what I identify as, you know what I mean? I'm like, so that didn't really dawn on me, but she's the one that kind of like helped me and also like she covered for me so many times. My God, I spent like nights and I shouldn't even put this on camera, honestly. I was like once on an army base when I was minor, which you're not supposed to. And I was 17 and like literally spent the night at this guy that I was dating at that point. He was in the army and that was a whole shit show anyway. And so she covered for me so many times because she was like, you need to live your life. I don't want you to be like feeling like you can't do anything because your parents hold you down. Yeah, she was also there when I got sexually assaulted, and that was pretty intense because her mom was trying to like, you know, let me, like she was like, okay, we need to call the police, we need to do all that, and I was like, when my parents find that out, they're gonna kill me first. They're not gonna care about like if somebody harmed me. That's the matter of the fact that a dude had sex with me. Meanwhile, was like this. The assault was like because I was with the guy and then he brought another dude in and I did not want that to happen because I wasn't ready for that, and then they just had their way with me anyway, like, so, and I just didn't want any of that for my parents to be finding that out. So that was very like where she came in and her mom also came in and really like took care of me. That was like the first time when I was like, damn, I can't even confine my own parents. Like her mom was like more of a mom to me because I could just be open to her. You know, I didn't have to hold back. I didn't have to worry. So that was really like, essentially, Stephanie was one of the, she was the first person that I've actually came out to. I have people address me all the time like, what's happening here? I don't understand that. And I'm like, that is a human being. Like, that's the explanation right there. I'm like, I don't understand why, like, oh, I don't know what's this. I'm like, this is a human. Since literally like pre-colonialized like times, okay, there was trans people out there everywhere, and this is in history, okay, people. Again, Google. You can Native American history, Indian history, like all over. Come on. Filipino history, like, you know, there are so many histories out there that literally celebrate people that were trans or the third gender or whatever the hell they called it. We're human beings. I think that that's where a lot of times, like, especially in the queer community, we have so many challenges because people just don't see us as human. They see us as like, oh, we're being wrong, but, you know, I don't know, like, I don't even know what people, ignorant folks, like, just think of us. But I'm like, they just don't see us as valuable. And that's not true because we actually make the world go around. Like, when you also think of like film, TV, all that, where do you think all these cis heteronormative people get their inspirations from? No shade. Well, I mean, for me, I think visibility is really important, even though that is dangerous because, like, for example, I don't take public transportation when I'm done because I've had so many negative experiences. That's why I do not do that to myself. I have some of my sisters that literally put themselves into these positions and they get harassed and like, or people take pictures without consent or like, you know what I mean? Like all these things, and I just don't want to do it. And especially nowadays when I'm out and about, and it's all in the approach, right? So like when people come up to me and be like, wow, I admire the fact that, you know, you just live your life the way you see it, and like, that's great, and that's a great approach. But if I hear one more cis person, oh my God, girl, yeah! And all that in the middle of like an event or something like that, I'll just walk away because I will not even see you because that is so fucking rude and unnecessary. Like, it's so unnecessary to address somebody like that, that drama within that. I'm like, I'm already allowed to look. I don't need that because when people then, that's what my thing is, people turn around and then look at me because they think that I start hollering. Not some cis person that just didn't understand what's happening and then just like lost their shit. You know what I mean? So it's all in the approach too. So that's what I always want to say. I'm like, please do realize that we're all humans. 1, 2, is when you want to say something that you think is positive to somebody, then please also know how to approach somebody. Because that takes humanity away from people. When you do that and ostracize somebody into that being like, oh, you know, because people are like, so where was the show? Or like, I have car drivers tell me like, oh, is it Halloween yet? And I'm like, the fuck? Like, are you serious right now? We need to acknowledge that ignorant people are uncomfortable admitting that they see other people in a different way because they just know one lane and that one lane only. They have these horse shutters on and that's all they can see. They don't see nothing around them. Well, that's not our fault. That's how you were raised. That has nothing to do with us. Just because we would like to be free, don't look. Like, I love Kimora Lee Simmons for that. She said that years ago. She was like, you don't like, don't look. Like, I really, like, it's that easy. Why are you even making a comment? You know what I mean? Like, so to me, that's really something that I feel like that's a global issue because we have that around the world anywhere. You know what I mean? That people get literally attacked or verbally assaulted and all that because they choose to be different. Even though that actually, if you look back thousands and thousands of years in history, that was celebrated before fucking colonialism. So I'm non-binary, gender non-conforming. So the appropriate way is them, they to say. I don't take it offensively when people say he or she to me because I have all types of people address me in all different types of ways. So it's not, to me, it's not, like I said, to me, it's not a personal thing. So, but it's really like for a lot of non-binary people, that is really offensive. So please at least try. And it's really easy to put that in a sentence because you think plural, okay? When you don't know what somebody like identifies as, first of all, you either ask, what's your pronoun? Or if you don't want to do that, then just say they in general because that's a generalization of everybody. You know what I mean? So like, you don't have to be like specific about, you know, meaning like, oh, she or he or that. You know what I mean? So it's like, just say they is easier if you don't know. Let's just, but yeah, it's them, they normally. What's the favorite part about me? That I just don't let anything hold me down, and I don't conform to any standard because I just don't believe in that. I've always been a free spirit, and I think that that's what I love the most about me. Oh God. I mean, who shit?